Hi, my name is Taylor Calvey, and I'm a student at EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama, and I'm sitting here with my mom, Kaylee Calvey, who is a 4th grade teacher at Lee Elementary School in Satsuma, Alabama, and she teaches 4th grade. So, Mom, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what type of technology resources do you use in your classroom?
Okay. In my classroom, I've got 4 desktop computers that the children have access to on a daily basis. I have an iPad, I have a laptop computer, a smartboard, and an Elmo projector.
Okay. And do you think that your students seem to enjoy the use of technology? Do they participate more? Are they more focused than they would be, than just doing stuff on the whiteboard or,
Well, they love technology. I've definitely noticed more participation when I have a smartboard lesson on, or if you can use some type of online game to reinforce the things that they're learning in math, let's say like a drill, a game that you can use. Also, one of the things that I use on my app, an app that I use on my iPad, it's called Class Dojo, and it's for behavior management, and it has every child listed with an avatar, and they get to pick their avatar and design it. It's a little monster, and daily throughout the day, I just hold my iPad, and if children, I can put in different behaviors that I'm looking for, like using kind words, participating in group, working quietly, turning in homework, things like that, and I can give them points throughout the day, and they love it because they get to see their behavior at the end of the day, and they can set goals for themselves. It also goes to their parents for instant feedback. Their parents can have the app on their phone or their email set up, and they can right away see what their child is doing in the classroom as far as behaviors and what things they need to work on. So the kids love that. That's called Class Dojo. Also, they love to go to. We also go to the computer lab once a week, where we have 30 not laptops, 30 desktops that the kids. And sometimes I use it for behavior. If they met their goal for behavior, then they can get 10 minutes to play a game after we've done keyboarding or something that they have to do.
Okay. Now, you've been teaching for over 20 years, and you started teaching in the 90s when technology was not used in the classroom. It wasn't a huge part. Now, what was the hardest part for you having to get used to learning technology, really?
Well, when I first started teaching, I literally had a chalkboard and chalk. And textbooks. And that was it for a few years. Then things started to change. We got the Mac computers in the back of the room, and kids would. The only thing I knew how to do with that was like, go play Oregon Trail, like that old game from the 90s. But the hardest part for me, I think technology is great. I think it's really, it's the way of the future. And if these kids don't know how to use technology, they're at a huge disadvantage. So for me, the learning curve has been not really bad, but it takes a little while. You might have to spend a day at a workshop to learn how to use something that we're going to do and have in the classroom. I remember when smartboards came out and I got my smartboard, it was like Christmas for me. When they came in and hung it up on the wall, I was blown away by it. I didn't know what to do. It took a while. We had workshops, but once you learn it, the kids seem to learn things easier than people my age.
I was going to ask that.
Like, I still have kids that will go to my computer and they'll press function something. They're like, oh, I fixed it for you, Ms. Calvey. And, it's much easier on them. One thing that bothers me, with any technology, it's great when it works, and when it doesn't, you might wait a week for somebody to come out and fix the light bulb in your smartboard that costs $400 or so, there's little things like that.
Now, as technology has been growing tremendously in the classroom and really in the world, it has, do you think that technology can be overused in the classroom, where it is solely based on technology? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it has the potential to completely be overused, where students can write on a piece of paper, they don't even use a pen and paper anymore?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We don't teach cursive handwriting anymore. My kids can't you have a hard time with cursive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lost art to me. I think handwriting, it's your signature. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that represents you when you write on paper. So that definitely has gone by the wayside. But really, if you have a kid with a fine motor skills aren't really good and they have a hard time with writing, they don't really need to write. They can just keyboard it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's good and bad things with it. I think some teachers might use the smart board to show movies all day long, but that's not really the case anymore. But in the past, maybe they did. And I do like a book. Like, I know I have Kindle for myself personally, and I just like the feel of a book.
Right.
I like to be able to highlight in a book.
That's how I am.
So a textbook to me is the same way. I think there's something about a real book to me.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we still have textbooks in our classroom, but it is nice that the kids can go home, and if they can't bring their textbook home, if they have computers and if they have internet access, which not every child does, but if they do, they can pull the textbook up online to study for a test if they forgot their textbook or they're not allowed to go home or something. There's good and bad to it, and I think, you know, overuse could be an issue, but it is the way of the future, and if they're not ready, they're going to be left behind and not ready for the workforce.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I have. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.